Sometimes it's easier to do things the way we always have because it just works. Or does it? Today we'll explore a typical work week at PJ Fitter & Company, who has been ordering via fax from their favourite supplier for the last 20 years. Once a month, Joe refurbishes his PJ fitting machinery on the weekend when it is not being used. Joe is your typical toolie. No, not the Gold Coast variety, who has little concept on how supplier parts are supplied to enable him to do his job. Joe knows when he needs something, he talks to Storeman Pete. Joe gives Pete some old samples of the tools he requires for the work on Saturday. Pete doesn't know the supplier's part numbers. Joe needs a doodlebug and a retractable knife. Pete knows he can get the parts from his favourite supplier tomorrow if he orders before the cut-off time today. He grabs the trusty supplier catalogue from his shelf and skips to the index. Pete is unable to find the doodlebug and only has the manufacturer's part number for the retractable knife. He's pretty sure Sue, the office manager, can figure this one out, so he scribbles what he needs on a post-it note and goes to see Sue. Sue is a very busy lady, so she motions to Pete to dump his note in her in-tray. Sue finishes off the work she was doing, and after lunch, she remembers Pete's request. She asked Pete many times to give her the part numbers. So frustrated, she storms off to find them. Pete shows Sue the old parts, but this doesn't really help her much, and the tension builds. Sue dashes back to her office and searches through a folder of old invoices and finds the part number for the knife. She then calls Andrew, her hunky and helpful account manager. Exasperated, she gets his voicemail and leaves a message. Sue likes chatting with Andrew, so rather than call customer service, she waits until he calls her back. Andrew guides her to the right page in the catalogue to get the required part number. Sue then produces a purchase order, which she prints off, and by the time she manually faxes the order through to the supplier, Steph, the customer service officer, is skipping out the branch door on her way home. Steph retrieves the purchase order from the fax machine and processes the order. She knows the order is urgent and notes the knife is out of stock. She calls Sue to suggest a suitable alternate knife. Sue is still on the school run and won't be in until later. Steph calls Sue again later to discuss the part swap. Sue feels she should confirm with Pete, but he's in a safety meeting. It's noon before she confirms with Pete that the part will be okay. After lunch, Sue gets back onto her PC and changes the original purchase order and refaxes the order to the supplier. Steph has been helping out in the warehouse, so she only reprocesses Sue's revised order late on Friday. By the time the order prints in the warehouse, she has missed the cutoff time and the order will wait until Monday. Joe arrives early and can't find the parts he ordered. Bemused, he calls Pete and asks him where they are. Pete has been promised delivery in full on time, so he's angry when he calls Andrew. Andrew's relaxing on the golf course with his mates. Not wanting to risk losing the customer's business, Andrew feels he has to resolve the issue himself. Red-faced, he leaves and drives to the branch where he opens up, picks the stock himself, relocks the branch and drives out to meet Joe. Andrew rushes back to the golf course and arrives to see his mates finishing up on the 18th. They heckle him over the incident, and Alan tells him about his amazing eagle shot on the 14th. Deflated, Andrew follows his mates to the clubhouse to drown his sorrows. Sipping on a beer, he wonders, why me? Surely there must be a better way to do this.